Alright, and welcome back to some more Magic Arena, and today we're actually going to be playing a subscriber list. So this is something that I've wanted to do pretty much since Arena came out, is showcase the decks that I think are truly special that you guys send to me, and maybe some that are not so special, or maybe some that are unfinished that maybe I could help in improving, or maybe you guys in the chat could also give you suggestions on how to improve a deck. But yes, we're going to be playing a subscriber deck today, and it's one that I played on stream yesterday, so if you did turn up for that, you might have actually caught this absurd list. So the usual structure for this deck, this video would be, I would play your deck, suggest improvements, maybe make those changes, and then play the deck some more. But this deck, I think, is mostly where it needs to be already, so I'm probably not going to be doing the same structure that I would for a normal subscriber deck video. So, if you do want to send in a subscriber deck, by the way, be sure to leave it either down in the comments section below, or my email is in the description as well. If you want to send it privately, we can do that. I'll always give priority to the supporters on Patreon, because that is actually a reward tier that I offer for $5, I believe. I will actually do a one-on-one kind of deck critique and build a deck for you if you really want me to, that kind of thing. So they will get priority, but I will try to get to as many non-supporters, non-Patreons as I possibly can. So, without further ado, today's deck is going to be a 1,000 Year Storm list, but it's not the usual 1,000 Year Storm list. The one that I played as soon as Arena allowed me to was kind of the same situation. However, I was going to win with Lightning Strikes instead, and Isaac here, who sent me the list, is actually wanting to win with Karn. And at first glance I thought, this is probably quite flimsy, because it seems like you can easily interrupt this Karn, you know, you'll have to untap and give them a turn. But actually, in reality, upon the first time I played this one, it is not the case. As soon as you start 1,000 Year comboing off, Karn comes down, makes Constructs, and then you use Nexus of Fate to take the extra turns so that the Constructs can beat you down for lethal. So you might say to yourself, well, these Constructs are going to be like 1/1s, 2/2s. How are they going to get through my opponent's Carnage Tyrant? Well, they're not going to be 1/1s and 2/2s, because we're actually going to be using Brass's Bounty to create treasures equal to the number of lands we control, and with 1,000 Year Storm copying them, we're going to be generating maybe 80, 90, that kind of bracket of Brass's Bounty tokens, which means Karn on his -2 is actually going to be making 90 90s or 100 100s, that kind of thing. So nothing is going to stop them from getting through. And we can make multiples as well in case they have an indestructible creature or something along that line. And we'll have drawn through our entire deck at some point as well. So we'll be chaining Nexus for infinite turns, so it's only a matter of time until Karn can create enough Constructs to go through my opponent's board. That's the idea. The actual build-around card, I should actually go through it, is 1,000 Year Storm. So 4 and a blue and a red for an enchantment. It says, whenever you cast an instant or sorcery, copy it for each other instant and sorcery you've cast before it this turn, and then you may choose new targets for the copies. So the more instants and sorceries we cast in a turn, the more times we chain them together. So we have Mission Briefing, which is one of my favourite 1,000 Year Storm cards, because it counts as the first spell, but it also surveils and then selects a new spell for you to cast. So the spell that you select, which is usually Brass's Bounty to start the combo off, will actually count as your second spell. So Brass's Bounty is automatically doubled at that point. And doubled Brass's Bounty basically means you have enough mana to combo off for the rest of the game. So we want to be doing things like Chemist's Insight as well to draw 2 cards, but Jumpstart is also really useful there as well, so that we can use this twice in a turn or maybe later down the line. And this allows us to draw our entire deck and leave just Nexus of Fate left in our list. And to survive the game until we get there, we're actually going to be fogging for the most part. I didn't have too much luck when I played the fog version of 1,000 Year Storm, but this one seems to run it just fine, really. We got 4 copies of Root Snare to prevent all combat damage, and we also have Pause for Reflection as well, which is a 3 mana equivalent that has Convoke as well. So if you are in a situation where you have Karn down and you minus the 2, you can use the Convoke to turn Pause for Reflection essentially into a Root Snare. So that's something to keep in mind. Other than that, we've got Disruption, like Essence Scatter to stop creatures. We do want to prevent a fair few creatures, because the less creatures that are on the board, the longer it is before we have to start root snaring every single turn. So Essence Scatters are really nice for that kind of thing. We also have Sinister Sabotage as well to push through our combo. If we're up against the control list, we can counter their counter spells, counter their Teferis, all of that kind of stuff. And other than that, Double Cast is here because it's hilarious. I do really like this. We've got River's Rebuke as a mass bounce spell, though if I was to make a change about this deck, I think this would be better as Star of Extinction. It's 1 mana extra, but it destroys a land and kills everything rather than bouncing it back to their hand. I'm not entirely sure though. Maybe the mana cheaper on River's Rebuke makes a difference, but on stream there was a situation where River's Rebuke wasn't entirely going to win us the game just by casting it alone. And honestly, Thousand Year Storm copying Star of Extinction 17 times just means they have no lands left, which is great. Whereas River's Rebuke basically does one time, and then after that it just does nothing several times over, so you don't really get the 1,000 Year synergy with River's Rebuke. So that would probably be my only change to this deck, is to actually switch out Rebuke for Star of Extinction, and maybe actually Rootbound Crag as well over, say, a Mountain, I think. We've got 7 green sources in here, and we need the root snares. We only need 1 green, but, you know, hitting the green source I think is quite important in this list, but so is hitting blue as well. So, who knows? I have a lot of fun with this list anyway. I hope to showcase this one for you guys successfully. We'll have to see. So, without further ado, let's get into the games, and I'll see you there. Okay, we've kind of got a land-heavy hand with a fog and our combo pieces, so as long as we're not up against blue-black, then I think this hand is fine. I mean, I'm not really going to worry about too much, I don't think. Sulphur Falls is a thing. I mean, we've got the island to make all of these come into play untapped, so yeah, let's keep it. Alright, our opponent's going down to 6. That's a good start. Hopefully they keep it, because I do actually want a good game. Alright, island go. Yeah, I'm liking our mana situation, but we do need some help, I think, off the top of the deck here. It's a blue deck. Interesting. Double Cast is probably the last card I wanted to see. Don't really need it. I think I would have preferred like a Chemist's Insight, although I can't cast it. I think it's still a pretty good card to have in hand all the same, since we do have the mana to make sure that we cast it on 4. So, is this mono blue tempo? Oh, it's blue-red. It's probably Phoenix Drakes. I mean, there aren't many blue-red decks other than that one. There's like the Sarkhan Niv Mizzet deck, and I suppose that does run ops as well. So, who knows? Let's just go with Sulphur Falls. Why not? That's the turn. I suppose the why not is to not show him the red, but I don't think that really influences the decision all too much. And Brass's Bounty. Okay. Slow and steady. I'm not going to play the Karn into this counterspell. This potential counterspell, at least. I'm not quite sure. If it is Drakes, I mean, they've only got, like, shocks and stuff like that. Maybe a push they've got Spell Pierce. This isn't blue-red control. Let's go for it. There's 2 more Karns in the deck, so let's just get that card advantage going if we can help it. Come on. No, it looks like... Oh, risk factor. Yeah, I'll take 4. That's an odd one. Alright, so let's tick up. Ooh, that's a nice selection. He's going to give me the land, which is fine, but we do get the Chemisters on a minus, which, depending on how he treats my Karn, I might go for that Chemisters. We basically want to be surviving up to casting 1,000 Year Storm into Brass's Bounty. We could do like 7, 8, 9. If we double cast it, we can do it that way. Murmuring Mystic. Oh, that's a thing. Alright, so he knows about this island. I think I'm just going to minus down to... if I minus down to 5, we can do double Lightning Strike it, or Lightning Strike Shock it. I don't think I want to do that, so I think I'll tick up. That's nice. I like that. Giving my opponent all the choices. Alright. We're kind of getting there. Here's hoping he taps out so we can slam down this 1000-Year Storm, and I think we're off to the races at that point. Or at least if he plays a creature, we can Essence Scatter and maybe enter a counter war that we want him to get involved in. Anything to get this down next turn, I'm up for it. So he might be thinking about doing the risk factor here. He gets a token pretty much no matter what he plays. Alright. No attacks and just passes. Wow. That's got to be incorrect. I don't know what he's actually playing around by not attacking with his Mystic. He certainly knows I've got Essence Scatters, and I don't need to go get the other one until I've cast it. I don't like playing into this, to be honest. I think I'm going to keep ticking up. A curious choice. Unless he's running Star of Extinction, I don't think Karn's got anything to worry about. Okay. Yeah, just pass. We've got Sinister Sabotages. We can wait until then if he forces us to constantly hold up cards. Goes to the end step Chemisters. Okay. Alright, I think we're going to dump Brass's Bounty, because we can mission briefing the Brass's Bounty. That being said, we have extra lands, so I'm not sure. Looks like he's planning on putting some extra pressure on Karn here. So we could dedicate 3 mana to keep him on 8, I suppose. Maybe I was supposed to just slam down Storm there. I'm just not convinced that he's not running counter spells. Yeah, let's drop a land. I might just naturally cast a Brass's Bounty. Because if it gets countered, that's fine. Okay. So, swings at Karn. Swings at me? No, that can't be right. Yeah. Alright. Taking Karn to 5. Sure. Let's see if he commits a little bit more to this. If he does, we might want to pause for reflection. He's going to let it go.
Best if you stop.
And passes. Ugh. There's mission briefing. That's real nice. Okay, so let's just Brass's Bounty. Yeah, Brass's Bounty. See if he has the counterspell. Oh, lets it go. Alright, so we have the Essence Scatter. We also have Chemisters in here? Yeah. I'm going to keep ticking up. Let's keep that card advantage train going.
Are you certain of your decision?
Mission briefing, Rootbound Crag. Well, that's our land drop for the next turn. Okay. Yeah, pass. Next turn we'll go 1000-Year Storm, whether he likes it or not. And see what we can do with it. Chemisters dump a Guild Gate. Make some tokens. We do have Pause for Reflection, Mission Briefing, Pause for Reflection, so there's no way combat damage ever happens if we don't want it to. And if you double counter spells, it's game over for our opponent. So, this puts him down to burn range. I think we fog here. I actually did the math on that wrong. I don't actually have mission briefing, pause for reflection, and 1 mana short. But it shouldn't matter. Counters this, he loses. Shocks. Okay. Well, goes to face. Alright, okay. That's an odd one. Didn't expect that to happen. I thought he was going for Karn. Just to get the pressure on, but apparently not. Another pause. Right, so let's go Rootbound Crag. Play 1,000-Year Storm. Hopefully he doesn't force us to mission briefing for a counterspell. This looks like a not... Yeah, not that much of a counterspell kind of deck. Okay, so we could untap with all of our mana next turn if I use pause for reflection. Yeah, let's do that. Let's leave it one last turn. Pause, use 1 token, and then we'll do some fun stuff. Okay, so is he going to give me the land or the spare 1,000-Year Storm? I would imagine he'd give me the spare Storm. No? Okay, just lands. Fair enough. Because I'm not really going to need the second one. But the land drop allows me to do more next turn. Risk factor. Yep, I'll take 4. Down to 10. I don't think there's much risk of that. With a fog in hand, he'd need to deal 10 in burn damage alone, and Banefire's only 6. 7 with the land drop. Huh. Well, if it's 6, this time you can draw the cards. Because that would put me to Exacxes with Banefire. And we don't want that now when we're so close to winning. We literally win on the untap. So it's going to be... What are we going to do? I think it's going to be Brass's Bounty. Mission briefing. We want to get back Chemisters from Karn as well. The sequencing on this is going to be really odd because we need to do the math. It's so much that we have no cards left in our deck from the draw. Alright. Prevent the combat damage. Keeping double cast for later as well means double cast gets copied from 1,000-Year Storm. It's hilarious. It's like superbly overkill, but it's amazing. Okay, my turn. Naturally draw a 1,000-Year Storm. So we want Chemisters from Karn so that we can draw loads of cards. Probably anyway. We'll see. If we end up mission briefing into it, then there's no worry there whatsoever. So let's go Brass's Bounty. Generate some treasures. That's going to be the last spell he can ever counter. Now we go mission briefing. Yes. Actually, what's in our graveyard? Yeah, we go mission briefing. Blue. From one of our treasures. This gets copied twice. So we take both of the Brass's Bounties. Which effectively gives us infinite mana. Root Snare we don't need. You also get to check out the top of our deck as well. Let's get that Brass's Bounty. And hopefully we hit some good stuff. There's Chemisters. Okay. We'll take this Brass's Bounty. Oh, good. We selected the right one. That's the start. Alright. Now we'll go Brass's Bounty. we're pretty much going to draw our entire deck. So even if he kills Karn, we're going to find the other one. Copy that 3 times. Up to 32 treasures. Then we'll Chemisters. This is doing it 5 times. Actually, we'll double cast. Ah! Timers! Red. Red. It's one of the problems with this deck. The timer is still your enemy. It might be our opponent actually using his timeouts. I think it is, actually. But we don't actually get to see the thing. Hopefully I've not decked myself here, but I'm pretty sure Chemisters draws most of my deck here. Let's go blue. It's possible we kill ourselves by not doing the math. Let's see. We've got 31 cards, so as long as we don't copy it 15 times, we'll be good. That's 1. This is 2. This is 3. 4. 1,000-Year Storm kicks in. We've got 5 here. 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, we're all good. Hopefully we see Nexus of Fate. If we see Nexus of Fate, we just win. Not today. We've got 13 cards, so I can't Chemisters ever again. Let's brass his bounty. We can mission briefing, though, and that should find us the rest of our deck. We can actually dictate how much of our deck we actually mill, which is going to be all of it. Infinite mana. And then mission briefing. Copy it 7 bajillion times. Let's dump all that stuff. Let's pick double cast. So that we take infinite turns when we find Nexus of Fate. It doesn't actually matter because we're going to be doing this next turn. Yeah, dump all that stuff. Do that. Yeah, we aren't actually, because we didn't find Nexus of Fate, we're going to have to wait until next turn, but this should hopefully put Nexus on top by doing all of this. There it is. Alright. Let's pick whatever. Doesn't really matter. Dump everything that isn't Nexus into the yard. Yep, sure, whatever. Boop. Eh. Alright. And then let's make a construct, which is a 72-72. And yeah, pass the turn. We'll have to discard all of this stuff, but we've got plenty of counter spells, so our opponent can't do anything. We've got all of the fogs in the world, so they can't respond to that. This is going to take some time, but we'll get through our lands, hopefully. But yeah, it's game over now. Our opponent should probably leave. Who are you shocking? Me? Okay. No. Still got a lethal 69-69. Because why wouldn't you? Make sure it's definitely countered. Alright, Shock has been super countered. Yeah, still want that on top. Got 2 cards left in our deck. And Nexus is the second of those. Alright, resolve that. Can I discard my lands now? Chemisters? Okay. Yeah, you can do that. Whatever. They can only Banefire us for 8. So anything they do here is honestly fine. as long as they don't deal any damage to us whatsoever, which they are completely incapable of doing. Yeah, you can draw some cards. I think they're hoping that we've whiffed, which we haven't. We've partially whiffed, I suppose, because we could have drawn Nexus of Fate here and actually been able to win without ever letting them do anything. But it's just not going to happen. There we go. So we can mission briefing for our Fog, which is fine. I can get that last card out of our deck. I shouldn't have discarded it, actually. I thought I had more in my hand than I did. I was a little too aggressively choosing some cards there. But it's fine. Okay. That's fine. Doesn't kill us. And what doesn't kill us makes us stronger. Got an Arclight Phoenix in the yard. Yeah, creatures get first strike. That's fine. Let's sort out our perfect hand. Well-crafted perfect hand while we wait. There we go. Beautiful. Maximize velocity. I'm hoping that he attacks with everything, to be honest. Because the longer he doesn't attack with everything, the longer this is going to take. But yeah, like, we take infinite turns, so this 69 keeps hitting all of these things. It's probably going to be a 70, because I'll make another one just to speed things up. Did we say that Karn was the card underneath? No, we bend him, didn't we? Or at least I think we did. Alright, yeah, that happens. So he's out of red. So there's no burn coming at our face. He can chemist us for whatever he feels like doing. Yeah, okay. I could Fog here just to let him know that he's not getting combat damage in, but then he might be incentivized to not attack, which would be annoying. We don't want that. Okay, so all attack. Yes? No? There you go. Alright. So we'll mission briefing. The only counter spell he could possibly have is Spell Pierce, and with our 66 tokens, I don't think he's ever going to make us not pay for it. Alright, let's dump everything except for Nexus, Pick, Root Snare, and then double cast Root Snare. And that's game. There's a nice attempt from our opponent. He's possibly thinking that we are going to deck ourselves, which is another reason why he might not have scooped. But as soon as he sees Nexus here, as our final card, and we can now infinitely attack with 66s. Nice indeed. Yeah, this is pretty much textbook how it always goes. So he's got 3 blocks left to go, but he's dead next turn, or the turn after now. Land drop for the turn, pass. We draw Nexus of Fate, because obvious reasons. It's the last card in our deck. We could make another construct to attack for 67, but I'm not going to. Writing's on the wall, opponent. Writing's on the wall. And with no blockers. Coming in hot. You know what? For the extra damage.
Evil cannot withstand a right.
Let's go. Boom. Minus 114. This deck's sweet. I love this deck. It's beautiful. And that's basically how it performs every single time. You have to... The one thing when you're playing this deck is you have to worry about your chemisters drawing too much. So sometimes it's in your best interest to know what your storm count is, just to make sure that when you cast this, you don't draw too many cards, because you can hit your draw limit, because Nexus won't save you from that, unfortunately. So that's the one thing to keep in mind when you actually play this deck, is that storm count can potentially kill you. But the mission briefings are the way to get around that. So if you have like 10 cards left in your deck after a big chemisters, you can use mission briefing to mill all of the cards, and you can choose to leave them on top, which means it's impossible from a mission briefing to actually deck yourself. So you want to leave it until you've got Nexus as your only play in your deck, most of the time anyway. So that was the deck anyway, guys. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. That one went on for quite some time. So now would be the time when I would usually give some advice on how to change this, but I think I've already really done that. I think River's Rebuke is the one card that I would change for Star of Extinction. I think the situation we had there where they could continue chaining off on their extra turn, if I had Star in my hand, I would have just sacked my treasures and starred them for 1 million. Get rid of their entire board so they don't have that around. I don't know, though, because you do occasionally have Karn in play, so it could be a situation where it would kill you. Yeah, I guess that's one argument for it as well. I'm not sure. I'd love to try it with Star of Extinction at some point just to find out, because you always have a spare Karn around. You should always make sure that you have one and you can push it through a counterspell and things like that, because we have the Force Sinister Sabotage, so if we're chaining off with chemisters, we're going to win a counter war easy with our infinite mana, so, you know. And then maybe a second Rootbound Crag over a mountain. It is base blue, is this deck, very much skewed in the blue, so I think that's already covered with the islands, the Sulphur Falls, and the harbours, but I think green maybe could use a little bit more love just for the root snares, since they are the key to survival in this deck. But anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed. If you want to send in your own deck list as well, either leave them in the comment section below of this video or send them via an email in the description of the video. If you're on the Discord as well and you are one of the supporting tiers, so you have access to the private areas, there is a deck critique thing there where I'll do a one-on-one deck helping situation for you guys, so if you need any helps with your list, then that's the place to go. But other than that, guys, thanks very much for watching. Like and subscribe, hit that little bell icon so you get to notifications when these videos go live in the future, because you never know, it might be your deck next week. Thanks very much for watching, guys, and I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.